It's very close and they feel more. When the power of the people we triumph, the power of the people in power. They don't even care, they don't even send. Say the people they die of hunger. Hungry dog is an angry dog. One day you go bite the owner. Idle man is the devil workshop. Many youths for Nigeria no good job. And the country the youths got no future. The country is gone, that's on period. I blame it on the judiciary leaders. I blame it on the electoral officials. People were supposed to save the nation, but they collect it bribe. Shame on the armed forces. People were supposed to protect the masses. One of them they shoot us anytime they hear our voice.
In the name of Jesus, I will see the end of this year. This year will never see my end. I will see the end of this year. This year will never see my end. This year will never see my end. This year will never see my end. In the name of Jesus, I will see the end of this year. This year will never see my end. I will see the end of this year. This year will never see my end. 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 I will see the end of this year. This year will never see my end. 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 I will see the end of this year. This year will never see my end. This year will never see my end. This year will never see my end. This year will never see my end.
Onye si na agata anya ahụhụ ma ọ bụ na anyị fe arụsị anyị wee na-efe arụsị mgbe were iwe gị na ọmụma gị wee bịa leta anyị ụmụ anyị wee na-anwụsị ụfọdụ nọ n'ụzọ ije ha anaghị alọta ụlọ ọzọ nne na nna wee na-ata ahụhụ wee na-ata ikikere eze nwaanyị konye ka ọ gaa ubi gaa rụọ ọrụ Fulani chiri ehi bata ebe ala gị nne n'iyi okwu ebepụ ya isi anyị bụ ka anyị kpọpụ onye nwe anyị n'ugwu Awụsa ahụ ejide anyị wee gbuo ihe ọbụla anyị mara aka n'ime ha si maka ha aga n'ihu elekwa ọdụ ụgbọ mmiri n'igwe ọcha bụ ememiri ọya nke dị na Kalaba otu aka ahụ anyị na-ala nsọ ebe Biafra bụ ndị kọstọm sokonye anyị n'etiti anyị anọghị n'ime mmiri kama kọstọm juru ebe niile ha wee na-ata anyị ahụhụ anyị kwe sịpụta anyị ka kpọchie anyị kwe sịpụta anyị ka gbagbuo anyị onye nwe anyị na Chineke na nke bi n'igwe ọ bụ ụzọ dị anya ka isi na-ekwu ndị iro anyị n'anya wee karịa ndị nke gị akwa anyị bụ ụmụ Chineke akwa ọba aha anyị ka anyị na-aza akwa ọba anyị nwe na-aza ike Chukwu akwa ọba anyị nwe na-aza amara Chineke akwa ọba anyị nwe na-aza Chisom akwa ọba anyị nwe na-aza Chizoba nna nke dị nsọ onye ime eluigwe dịka otu onye iro dị na anyị bụ ụmụ gị bịa ka iwe zọpụta anyị bịa ka iwe napụta anyị n'aka ọjọọ ihe bịa ka iwe lụọrọ anyị ọgụ bịa ka iwe dịtụ ozu ọgbọgọwa memilere Goliath Chineke nna nke igwe ruo memile Fero sikwa otu a mee ka Fero ka ọ guzo n'ihu ụmụ ndị anyị bịa ka o wee taa akọkọ igiri ụtọ ọzọ Chineke ga na-edu anyị n'ụzọ niile nke ezi omume. Ọ bụla adịghị na anyị na-aga ndagwurugwu onyinye ọnwụ. Ọ bụ nwa bụ ekele eluigwe n'ụwa, nwunye ọbụla kere gị nweghị mmalite nweghị ọgwụgwụ. Kama anyị onwe anyị kwa anọkwa ahụ ofu ụbọchị anyị ga-anwụ n'ezie. Kama ma akpọ na okwu gị na-anọgide ego mgbe ebighị ebi. Ọ bụ ya mere anyị ji were gị n'anya isi. Anyị wee na-asị nna nke dị nsọ, bịa ka iwe gosi anyị Biafra na ndụ na-abụghị n'ọnwụ. Bịa ka iwe mee ka ebe gị na amara gị wee kpuchiri anyị ka uwe. Bịa ka iwe zọpụta ndị nke gị. Bịa ka iwe mee ka Biafra wee bịa. Ka anyị na-ewetụta na nsọpụrụ na ịja mma site n'aha gị onye bụ Chukwu nke abịa ma.
Welcome, fellow Biafrans. Thank you so much for joining me on this very evening program. It is going to be a quick one. As you know, in our evening program, we don't waste much time. We try to run it as quick as possible. And most of the time, our evening program is just a revision of what is happening in their conventional media. I wish you all a very wonderful seasonal greeting. Wherever you are watching, greetings of the season. And I wish you Happy New Year in advance. The new year is fast coming and we are going to see 2026 and what it will bring. Don't you ever give up. Don't you ever surrender. We must continue to do what we have to do. As the ordinary people, we don't have the power, we don't have the strength, we don't have the money, but the little contribution we can make on our own, we will continue to do that. Every time that we have to commit, we commit it, regardless the attack, regardless the hatred, regardless the insult, we will continue to do what we have to do. I am talking about my freedom. You are entitled to speak about your own freedom. If you don't want the freedom also, it is your entitlement. Nobody is going to force you against your will. Every one of us is entitled to our opinion. We are very much entitled to our opinion. So, in this coming year, as the year is fast ending, in few days' time, today is 30th already. So, in few days' time, maybe in the next 48 hours, we're going to be in 2026. So, prepare yourself and let us see what 2026 is going to bring. I appreciate every one of you. I wish you once again a happy festive season. And also, let us go now and hear what they have in their conventional media today. As you always know, our revision every evening here is on conventional media, what they have and what they have to say. We will continue to bring it before you so that you also can be able to look into it, add your own opinion, have your own word, as nobody's going to force you to believe what you do not want to believe. But what we are doing is to try as much as possible to make sure that you are not being taken unaware, to make sure that you are aware of your environment, you are aware of what is happening, you are aware of what is going on, so that you can be well prepared of what happens when it happens and when it comes. So I want you to pay attention to this very video we're about to play. You are going to learn a lot from it. Let us listen and hear the discussion that they have on this very program. Let's listen and watch together.
That the USA strikes in Sokoto State thwarted potential Christmas attacks by the radical Islamic terrorists in Nigeria, as witnessed in the past years when the terrorists carried out deadly strikes on Christians. However, in the aftermath of the airstrike last Thursday, a section in the north has opposed the intervention, questioning the invasion of sovereignty. Joining us on this show to discuss issues that have arisen in the aftermath of the U.S. strike on terrorist locations in Sokoto is Dr. Kunle Fagbemi, a political scientist and national security scholar. He will also review the work of the U.S.-Nigeria Binational Commission, address the issue of sovereignty and specific objectives of the current ongoing U.S. operations in Nigeria. Good morning, Dr. Fagbemi, and thank you very much for joining us on the morning show. Hello, Doctor.
Good morning, Dr. Abati, and thank you very much for having me. Compliments of the season.
Same to you, thank you. Well, very quickly, you already had the introduction. Your take on the issues of the U.S.-Nigeria bilateral cooperation in the recent intervention against terrorists. with particular attention to the issues of sovereignty, location of the intervention, and also the fallouts that we have had from people who say, oh, it's because Nigerian government is bypassing, is abdicating responsibility, and that there are more fundamental issues. Because one strike from the US cannot solve our problems.
Thank you very much, Dr. Abasi and the team. I think we need to enlighten ourselves clearly. The clause of sovereignty that people are using to make reference and are using to confuse Nigerians and the issues on the subject matter revolve around a 1945 document, which is the United Nations Charter that talks about the issue of sovereignty, and particularly in the Article 2 and other references going to Article 51 and others. But mind you, that is an 80-year-old instrument, and in those 80 years, we have moved away from the principle of non-intervention, non-interference, into the era of non-indifference, which now permits states to intervene, as it were, when you have dynamics that will warrant the need for such interventions. And a number of protocols, treaties, and agreements and principles have come into force in the last 80 years. In those 80 years, a particular principle and of note is a responsibility to protect, which now provides us an opportunity that there can be some level of concerted efforts by actors, can be an attempt for international community to resolve, to intervene. It therefore means that we must be mindful of our dynamics as it relates to our global responsibilities and the international instruments that the Nigerian state is a state party onto. When you take a look at what we are dealing with, we are now dealing with the bilateral relationships that exist between the Nigerian state and the United States of America. Nigeria and US have close to 65 years of diplomatic relationships and ties. And we've had a number of instruments that tend to govern our relationships. And in this regard, we have eventually gotten to the level by 2010 that we now have the US-Nigeria Binational Commission. And interestingly, last year, 2024, the US-Nigeria Binational Commission met. And part of the decisions and the principles and the number one cardinal issue that the Binational Commission has been addressing is that of security. So this intervention is not something coming from the blues. And we must be mindful that over the years, we've had a situation where the Nigerian state is a state party to the African Center for Strategic Studies. We are state party to the African Crisis Initiative, that is now ACOTA, that is the Africa Contingency Operations Training Assistance, and then the African Partnership Station 2007. The African Crisis Initiative, that is ACOTA, is 2004. And Nigeria is a member of the Global Coalition to Defeat ISIS, which is the ISIS. And then we are party, let me finish please. Okay. We are party to Trans-Sahara Counterterrorism Partnership since 2005, which actually started in 2002 as Pan-Sahel Initiative, meaning therefore that there are a number of issues and instruments that have been ongoing that have culminated into a strategic partnership that will lead to an intervention under the responsibility to protect and under the purview of a number of these instruments. And this is where we are always pleading with the occupants of public offices to always understand that they need to define and explain their roles correctly to Nigerians.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Fagbemi. So, how do we measure success when it comes to airstrikes like this, precision airstrikes like this? I say this because some groups in the north have come out to say, oh, this wasn't successful. What is the impact of it? It didn't have as much impact. Some have opined, and which we have discussed on this table, the location of where the first or the initial airstrikes ought to have happened. What's your take on this, and how do we measure impact when it comes to responses like this or reactions like this?
Interestingly, we are dealing with a situation where, unfortunately, a number of issues are not properly and clearly understood. The Defense Information Management System is completely different from the normal bits. And this is where you operate under the principles of the right to disclose, right to know, and not to disclose. Painfully, what we are dealing with is very interesting. Interesting in the sense that we are dealing with multiple messaging from different platforms and actors. The Nigerian state did not put any information out there early, and this is understood, and primarily because under some of those principles, and you remember under the Binational Commission of US-Nigeria Relations, the co-chair and co-convening authority is the Minister of Foreign Affairs in Nigeria and the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, in the United States. Those are the two major actors. Unfortunately, there's a sub-working group that is supposed to manage the dynamics pertaining to security dynamics and intelligence management that is headed by the Malam Ribadu, who is the incumbent National Security Advisor of the Nigerian state. Over the years, and you know that I was on this set earlier on, and I was pleading that the National Security Advisor needed to be mindful of the way he plays his role in such a way and manner. 2024, a binational commission meeting held, and some of the issues raised, and this is where we are going to plead with those who understand that they need to ensure that all of them in the presidency that are involved in information management will need to go back and read the reports of that particular conference that held in between the Nigerian state and the United States. When they read it, you will understand that what we are now making reference to, and the question you want me to answer directly, is that precision strikes. When you're talking about precision strikes, there are many layers involved. Number one, you want to make sure that the projectiles, munitions that you are using will attack the correct coordinates that has been determined. And two, that if the projectile has to be powered by some materials, and those ones will fall down at some locations as they are going because they expend some of those fuel materials along the line, they will have had to calculate that those ones that are going to drop as debris will not cause harm. And that is part of why they are saying precision. And this is where ideally what ought to have been done under the arrangement when you are going in. And this is where I really pity my brother, Major General Eneche, the Foundation Director for Defense Information Management System, who comes on air, and each time you see him coming on air, he comes with his medals, even on his civilian uniform after being retired. When you understand that you are dealing with a number of issues that you must compartmentalize, and you need to bring the editors of the media houses to speed, you need to have called them to understand that these are the things that we are dealing with. And this question that you've asked me particularly would have been addressed, and you will not be asking me the way you have been asking me. And a number of other media platforms and outlets are asking the wrong questions because it is not yet time to disclose if and when you have the assessment done is when we can begin to answer these questions in terms of the impact and success story. But mind you, we've gotten here because a certain President Donald Trump has put some information in public domain, which is part of his own stewardship accountability to the United States of America system, which is part of his own communication with his troops. His troops must be assured that the command and control information that is going out is clearly understood, that he is absolving them of every liabilities and that he is taking full responsibility.
Doctor, I don't even get the answer you just gave, because common sense, I'm saying common sense, base level, by now, a record should have been done. Impact assessments, debris, you're talking about debris. Till date, we don't even know, is it the debris that affected Kwara, that affected the hotel in Offa? Was that the debris? By today, a recce, an impact assessment, a press briefing as regards what transpired and what happened. I mean, this is not far-fetched. I remember General Irabo. When General Irabo was in charge of Lafia Dole, I think about 2015 thereabout, for every airstrike, an attack, he gives an update live on television. He talks about the recce, and he talks about the information, and that's why everybody is at sea today. How long will it take to do a recce? By our own authorities in the first place. Or are we waiting for the Americans to come and do a recce for us on our own soil? Because we saw officers there cordon off areas. So what was the report? I mean, these are the things we need to know for transparency basis. That's what I'm confused.
My brother Rufai, there's no need to be confused. We're dealing with an ugly situation where the Nigerian state and system is not being run based on principles, rules of procedure and protocols.
Now you come.
You will realize that when we're talking of when
you are running a country, not based on principle, not even injustice.
That was under
the country is just running on autopilot.
And one of the managers of the information system of the Nigerian system and state is seated on the table there with you. They attempted and tried to follow the books. When you are following the books, you will operate with a high level of transparency. By now, ideally, when it was clear that we were going to get to this level, all the members of the morning show on Arise would have received detailed briefing by the Defense Information System. Unfortunately, the people that are in office, like I had to use the phrase the last time I appeared on this show, are operating with journalistic arrogance. And that is why we are not having the kind of stewardship accountability that you're talking about. If you want to have the kind of stewardship accountability that you're talking about, we will require everybody playing by the books. For example, you need to ask them, when last did the Joint Intelligence Board meet? You need to ask them, when last did the Information Management System meet? You will realize that these are the issues that we are dealing with. If you want an assessment done, by now, what you are saying to me is that you...
Dr. Fagbemi, we seem to have run out of time. But I get what you are saying. Your point about steward accountability and the right to know. But I leave you with one message from one point from information theory. There's a difference between the right to know and the need to know. So when we talk about transparency, we should also recognize, that gap between the right to know and the need to know.
Criminal, you will always put confusion in every discussion.
Information is classified. I would like to thank you very much.
You always put confusion in every time truth you want to bring out. Every time truth want to come out, this man will always come with confusion. Talking about classify. What are you classifying in Nigeria when things are not done the way it's supposed to do? They happen. Look at what the man said. The country is just running on his own. Things are not done normal. You don't go according to the books. There is no justice. Injustice is everywhere. There is nothing that is working in Nigeria. That is what this man is saying, literally. When they come here, they speak grammar and they confuse people. But from his explanation, things are not going the way it's supposed to. The country is not functioning on its own, not on the books, not on the constitution, not on anything written. They don't operate based on. There is no rules that guides what happens in Nigeria as we speak today. That is what this man is just speaking. So they can continue to speak all this grammar to confuse themselves. We can never be confused. The truth is clear, and we will always bring that truth when it is time to bring it. A country where everybody is living at risk. I hope some of you must have heard about the incident that happened to Tony Joshua. And Tony Joshua, now what Nigeria has happened to Anthony Joshua. Maybe so many of you have heard it. Anthony Joshua, the boxer, he had an accident, almost lost his life. Almost lost in Nigeria. This morning, today, Anthony Joshua had an accident, almost lost his life. He narrowly escaped. That is Nigeria for you. Nigeria will happen to everybody. Go and check. The only problem must have been the bad road. That is Anthony Joshua you're looking at. Anthony Joshua almost lost his life this morning in a car accident in Nigeria. Everything about Nigeria is a bad news. One Nigeria happened to Anthony Joshua this morning. He almost lost his life. And 2 people died in that accident. Somebody who traveled all the way from the UK came back to Nigeria. Look at him. He narrowly escaped. Accident, Anthony Joshua. In Nigeria, car destroyed completely. Look at him. This happened this morning, this morning. We know accident happens everywhere. In every country there will be accident. But there are some accident that happens because of carelessness. There are some accident that happens because the country is useless, because the people don't care. Your government doesn't care. That is why some accident happen. Their carelessness and their stupidity make that. Look at Joshua, almost lost his life today. This is how anybody who thinks that Nigeria will not happen to him because you are secure, because you are living in London, because you are popular, you are rich, it will happen to you one day. It will get to your table, and one Nigeria will happen to you. When it happens to you, you will now know that, oh, those people who are talking before, we are not stupid, and we are not just noisemakers. That is how one Nigeria is. It will happen to you. It's a question of time. Everybody will get it.
Have a happy celebration. For many Nigerians, they will say it was a happy celebration, while for others, they will say it wasn't a very happy celebration. But if there's one thing Nigerians were elated about, it was the fact that we did not have it. I hope we have a happy celebration. For many Nigerians, they will say it was a happy celebration, while for others, they will say it wasn't a very happy celebration. But if there's one thing Nigerians were elated about, it was the fact that we did not have, widespread mass attacks on people like we have seen in previous Yuletide seasons. Some people have made jokes out of it, saying that, oh, everyone had a blast, including the terrorists, referring to the US missile that was struck in Sokoto State. Anyway, Miati Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria, Mark Bagwell, one of their leaders, he says he's speaking for the group, but he may well be speaking for himself, as some Northerners have come out to say that they're not happy with what some of their leaders are saying. But are you surprised that Makban, Sheikh Gumi, and some other Northerners are against the US strike and the attack on terrorists?
I am not surprised because that is their character. when somebody is acting out of character, you should not be surprised. And the only reason why these people have continued to behave in this way is because Nigerians have, we are giving a lot for these people, you know. But when people say they're not all Fulanis, it's not all Catholics. But when the leadership is talking like this, are they not talking for the generality of the people? Eh? If it is an ordinary member or roadside person is talking, that's okay. But this is the leadership speaking for the group. That means this is their stock in trade. Let nobody be surprised. How will it backfire? In what way? In what way? Is there anything we have not done for these people to give peace a chance? Many states have called them, come and take land if that is what you are looking for. We provide you everything you need to do your business. They said no. The government have provided Roga, provided cattle colony, all manner of things just to please them. Yet they don't want it. They prefer to go into people's farm and rape women in their farms.
The problem is they are saying it could backfire. It could affect civilians. It could affect innocent people who are just going about their duties. And when it comes to striking terrorists, we've seen a situation whereby the Nigerian military actually mistakenly struck civilians. Or the US cannot make such a mistake.
They should leave that to the US and their precision bombing.
Don't you think it would pose a problem for this administration if the US should actually mistakenly bomb Nigerian civilians?
In any matter like this, there will be collateral damage.
Don't mind him. What of the one that their soldiers are bombing? The one their military is bombing? The one the Nigerian Air Force are bombing?
That these collateral damage are actually human beings, people with flesh and blood.
Go and deal with the one that Nigerian government have done first.
The activities of these terrorists, why are they good enough to be collateral damage?
Now, listen. In a normal setting, these same people you claim to be innocent, have they not been routinely kidnapped and at times be killed?
Oh.
What do you make of that? When these people go on their rampage, don't some people die? People die. So I don't see why this should be a very big problem. If the 90-95% target is met, then any other thing is, yes, it is expected. In any war, somebody must die, but let the main target be achieved. That's what I'm after. And America is doing that so well. So well. So telling us to backfire what? The people you are kidnapping, what did they do to you? The people you are killing in their farm, what did they do to you? The over 600,000 people in IDP camp from Benue, what did they do to you? Those ones, it did not backfire. It did not. It is not that America wants to stop your rascality. It is, you now remember that it can backfire. Really? Let them keep their summons to themselves. We are not interested. If they don't want anything to backfire, why can't they give peace a chance? If there's peace in Nigeria, will anybody be talking of backfire or even bombardment? They should be asking themselves question, how did we cause all this problem? Yeah, that's the first question. How did we cause this problem? When you answer that question, they begin to talk of backfiring. No matter what they try to do now, this bombing must continue until they surrender or they leave Nigeria because they are not from here.
When you say they're not from here, it makes it look like they are not elements within Nigeria that actually support them or that are a part of them. If they're not from here, how come the federal government keeps telling us that they're going to reveal who the terrorist sponsors are amongst Nigerians? So it's like we keep blaming our West African neighbors for our problem. If there are a problem, why are our borders porous to allow these elements to infiltrate our communities?
They are not from here. The facts are there. If they are from here, why would they sack people in Benue and Plateau and take over their village and stay there and rename it and they occupy their rooms? If I have a home, why would I leave my own room and go and occupy another person's home? It's not possible now. So the facts are there that they are not from here. That is the truth. They are causing problem in Nigeria. That means they are not from here. They should go back to where they came from. That's what we are saying. Until they do that, the bombing must continue.
All right, then let's now look at the controversial tax laws, which has actually been a source of concern for many Nigerians. On my way to work this morning, I was trying to withdraw money, and even the person who was doing the POS, she was very embittered. She was really lamenting. She was saying, I don't know what the tax laws portend for me, but I think I might have to change this business. I don't want a situation whereby money is moving from one account to the other and it's being taken. Why the federal government wants to take our money? What exactly are they using it for? It's been a whole lot of lamentation, despite the fact that the FIRS and Taiwan Gendele himself has been trying to educate Nigerians. But would you say that there has not been proper orientation? Because even some people within National Assembly, even Atiku Abubakar, are saying these laws need to be suspended, especially with the recent controversial development or revelation. Whereby a member of the National Assembly was saying, look, this was not what we passed as being gazetted. In fact, FIRS posted just yesterday that if you fail to, there's a way they put it, say if you fail to pay your tax or to submit your taxable income, you'll be fined 200,000 naira. Then you have to pay double the tax that you did not pay with interest at the current CBN rate as at the time the person defaulted on that tax. And I made a comment. I said, is this not overburdening already burdened Nigerians? Because you said someone did not pay tax on maybe 100,000 naira, then you want to fine them 200,000 plus 100% surcharge on the tax that was not paid, plus interest at the CBN rate, which can climb up to 18, 10, 18, 19, 20, 25, 23, 13%. Do you go with what Atiku said?
You are expecting the citizens to be sincere and tax compliant, but you who is the operator, you who is the leadership giving the order, are you sincere? You cannot give what you don't have. If you want people to obey paying their tax and all that, then you must be sincere in implementing the tax reform. The tax reform, is it not this one that is now shrouded in controversy? Eh? You want people to be sincere and all that. You too, are you sincere? It will be difficult to, because look, no matter how they look at this thing, it will be very difficult. Because the system to power this tax reform is not there. It's not there. It is open to exploitation. It is open to extortion. The banks are going to have a people's account in the name of tax reform. That's the truth. Most illiterate bankers, they don't even know when money has been taken away from their account. They won't know. They won't know until you call a forensic expert to help you check. And the illiterate bankers, they don't even know what is forensic audit and all that. And so there will be heavy exploitation and extortion in people's accounts. That's the truth. A very good example was that of Venus in Motors. If that man was not a very rich man, which business will you remove 24 billion naira and the business is still standing? That was how much one bank would take away from his account. He asked his forensic doctor to look into it, and this is what he discovered. 24 in one man's account. And so this happened without the tax reform. Oh. Now that this thing has come, you think it will be over? Or do you think that man was the only person that the bank has been making his account? No. There are many more. It's just that they have not taken time to go through their statements and see what is happening there. So all the threats, it will end up in court. Oh. It will end up in court. I'm sure of that. It will end up in court. Let them be ready.
So who will take it to court? The Reps Minority Caucus has called for suspension on the tax laws.
Yes.
This is the House of Reps now. Part of them saying, look, this should be suspended. You do not think that the people, I mean, the time is right for this? And also, do you think that this might actually send Nigerians back to the streets? So maybe not back to the streets, but like there may be a large, disobedience amongst the people who feel like the government is not deserving of their taxes.
Of course, because the ones we paid before, we don't know where they are. Up to today, we are still looking for 210 trillion naira from NNPCL. All we are hearing is that the money was misplaced, but it is not missing. Where did you misplace it? Is it in somebody's pocket or in somebody's bank account? Bring it out now. They have not. They have not. Meanwhile, the federal government of Nigeria is writing off a debt owed by NNPC. Can you imagine? If you calculate the dollar and the naira equivalent, it's about 8 trillion naira. That the government said, okay, you can go with that money. Don't worry, don't bother, just, Can you imagine? And you are looking for tax, you are looking for money. This government is not serious, I'm telling you the truth. They are not serious. With all this evidence before us, do you think this government is very prudent in managing our finances? The answer is capital no. Capital no. They are spending money as if the money is going out of fashion. Trillions of naira, trillions that people have taken away from our accounts, and yet they still want to collect that from people shamelessly. And Nigerians are now asking them questions. Me, I will ask you. I will ask.
All right, let's ask some more questions. As the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors have warned that they could return to a strike, a nationwide strike, as the federal government has failed to implement a previously signed MOU. Now, in a post on X, the Secretary General of the Association, Dr. Shaibu Ibrahim, said the country is on the verge of a total and indefinite strike if the government continues to ignore deadlines for meeting the association's demands. After many years of backs and forths, after many years of renegotiations, it was just last week that the federal government and ASU came to an understanding with ACR lecturers returning to the classroom for a long period of time without strike. What is hindering the federal government from reaching this kind of agreement with the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors, knowing fully well just how very low our healthcare system? Some people, in fact, with these strikes, many people found it difficult access to adequate healthcare because the private facilities. Can we afford for our healthcare providers to go on another strike?
Look, government is not interested in your health. I'm beginning to think that there is a conspiracy to depopulate Nigeria.
You're beginning to.
I am thinking so because why should anybody pay lip service to health issues in Nigeria?
These are the people who come out every 4 years and demand food. Why would you think they want to depopulate Nigeria when they actually need more numbers from our votes? If they depopulate Nigeria, who then will rule over? Isn't our strength in our population in the Committee of Nations? So when you say they want to depopulate Nigeria, isn't that a conspiracy theory taking too far?
Chioma, maybe you are not aware. One of these people you claim they come every 4 years, though. Do you think it is your vote that they need to get into office? He said that even if it is only two people are in Imo State, we will really Imo State by force. A governor said it to people. So what are you talking about? You think that they are interested in your? No, they are not interested. Because look at it this way: that money they wrote off for NNPC. Please, will it not take care of the lecturers and the doctors' demand? And they will still have to. But look at how they wrote it off for NNPC. Without interrogating, why did you inherit this debt? What happened? Why did you not pay? Was there any disaster in the oil well rig? At least to show that yes, will make losses and all. So what exactly? Why can't you remit this money that you are owing us? What happened? You know, no natural disaster, no force majeure. So you can see how government behave. Federal government of Nigeria writing off over 8 trillion naira to a company, an agency of government that is already owing government 210 trillion naira.
Some would say that is the start on a clean slate.
Look, there are things that you don't even begin to think of because you may have problem with your mentality. I cannot connect it. NNPCL cannot explain where 210 trillion naira is from their custody. And now they are owing government almost 8 trillion naira. And government is okay, you know what, that money we forgive you, can go with it, we write it off. Without any explanation. Add it to the 210 trillion naira. In fact. And you still want to collect tax. After squandering all this money, you want to collect tax. You can see. I thank God it's the National Assembly that is populated by APC that brought out this issue during their oversight functions. And the NPC have not denied it. They have not that they say the lie is propaganda, it's gossip, it's rumor. They never said so. So where is the money? Where is the money? 210 trillion naira. Where is the money? It's unfortunate, seriously.
All right, as we coast into the year 2026, what would you want to be seen done differently in different sectors, in the oil sector, and the health sector? What would you want to see Labour do differently? What would you want to see our opposition do differently? What would you want to see politicians, the federal government, and even Nigerians, so that this progress, this success, this better Nigeria we've been talking about and preaching about and saying it is well within our hands, so that we can actually get there? We know that we'll be entering into a year of heavy politics in 2026. Many Nigerians say they are prepared for it, but just how prepared are Nigerians, and just how better or worse could things get?
Tinubu should step aside for a while.
Step aside and hand over to whom?
Good. In international level, you can hire any hand to do any job.
What happens to the vice president?
Example is Okonji Iweala is now the DG of WTO. Is that not true? It's from Nigeria. They hired her to do a job there. And she did it so well. That's why they are keeping her there. So what is wrong if we hire somebody to help us run Nigeria? No, tell me, what is wrong?
Because you want the Nigerian president to step aside and hand over the country to somebody else who is not a part of the governance structure. Again, I ask, what happens to the vice president? What happens to the president of the Senate?
Now, let me tell you. Forget about your election or no election. I mean, let us bring a novel idea in governance. Any country that their leadership is not performing, let them hire somebody elsewhere.
Doesn't that undermine our democratic institutions that say this is the way Nigeria should be run as a federal republic? So we should tell Okonjo Iweala, hold on with the WTO, come in. If economy is the only thing that is not going well. So if someone is running the economy, what about other areas of the country? Who runs it as well? And what will the president be doing in that time? He will probably be lounging somewhere.
He should be resting the same way Fubara was resting for 6 months when they imposed the state of emergency in Rivers State.
What would be the role of the vice president in all this? I don't think you've answered that.
I don't know. They should leave office now. The man will hire those who will help him run the country. At least will hire him for 6 years or for 6 months or for 1 year.
Let's say he takes your advice, right? Just like when Rivers State Governor Fubara went on the suspension, many people who know, lawyers and like yourself have been saying he has to complete his 4 years, which means Rivers State may now be part of those that run off-cycle elections. So if he walks away for a year and then he returns, that means he will not be leaving office in 2027.
No. Let us even start. Let us try the experiment first. Let's try the experiment and see how it goes. After all, we don't even have a democracy as of today. I hope you know that.
Some would say that this, your advice and suggestion is very, very porous. But if it were one that would be taken, one would wonder just how it would work. But are you really expecting the president now to take this your advice, knowing just how hard he works the way he is?
You see, is it better? Better we have this thing that they have in Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, and all that. Is that what they're waiting for?
That's the military regime.
So
Some will tell you it can never happen in Nigeria.
So that's what I'm saying. So to take the easy way out, let us call people who will help us run this government, because the way it is, we are bastardized this democracy. We are not running a democracy. Let nobody be deceived. We are not running a democracy in Nigeria. And the facts are there. The evidence are there. So instead of this thing that we are doing here, saying we are running it, no, let us call people who will help us out.
If we are not running a democracy, what are we running?
The same way America is helping us now to secure our life. What do you call what America is doing?
You keep helping us, and you cannot just help someone at the detriment of yourself. So what's the advantage?
But they are doing something.
What is the advantage of helping Nigeria to America? Nigeria is not the only country in distress. What is the advantage to America?
The fact remains that they are doing it, and we are not even complaining.
Like standing, you are deflecting.
Hold on.
What is the advantage of the help that America is rendering to Nigeria to their own country?
The advantage is that sanity has come back. Yes,
to where?
The terrorists are now. They beginning to realize that there is a powerful force that can deal with them.
You do not think America wants anything from us? We just want Nigeria to be better. Because we are the best country in the world. We are the best people. We are the best friends.
Hold on. What do you need that America does not have?
Ask her.
I don't make any demand from you.
You think they won't make any demand?
What I'm telling you.
What do you have?
But you don't know.
The relief they give to Nigeria every year. If you pay.
Hold on. Where is Tinubu? These things are happening and you're still doubting. No, have Tinubu not left Nigeria for Donald Trump to run? You don't know what happened here. A country have literally invaded your country. Instead of you to start, you just left and took a walk outside your country with all the crisis around you. People have already outsourced this responsibility, and you are here complaining. Donald Trump is running Nigeria to today. Can't you see it?
You may think so, but it is definitely not official. Okay, so you answered the question when I say, what should we do differently in 2026 so that the country can get better? If the president steps aside, you feel that every other thing will be better in the country. Nigerians will be happy, the economy will be stable, our healthcare sector will be the best. All the president needs to do is to step aside.
Good.
Would you have given that same advice to former President Muhammad Buhari?
No, that one is gone. Let's talk of the president. Now that America has started to bring sanity into our security system, teaching us what we don't know, telling our military they have to bomb terrorists since they don't know. By the time they finish, because Donald Trump just said that this is the beginning, he said he's coming back. Are you getting it? So he said he's coming back. By the time he finished with that phrase, maybe other sectors, sanity will come in. We will not tell you that Oga Trump will. There are some people who are stealing our money here. Please, can you help us deal with them? They know how to deal with these people too. By the time we finish, we will not tell you, Oga Trump will. There are some area boys and admirals who do not want us to do with election. Every time there's election, we say, don't worry, you'll find a list of dealing with them. And we'll come out with a plan. By the time these things are concluded, don't you think that we started to be a trauma?
Because of our time, what would you say to people like Sheikh Gumi, who said Nigerians who are supporting the US airstrikes are, in his words, stupid? And he says that Trump's hands are blood-stained.
Nigerians who are supporting bandits and terrorists are more stupid.
So let's try not to use their issue for national. I'm just telling you what he said. I'm not asking you to repeat what he said.
I'm just telling you too. The same way he called stupid to those people. Those people are not saying that anybody supporting bandits and terrorists is more stupid. Is it not balanced?
The thing is, when he said it is balanced, the people who are supporting this, Sheikh Gumi says he just advocates for them, right? That he talks about how kidnapping school children is less evil and all. He's just advocating for them. Some people say he's part of the terrorist sponsors in the country. Some people, in fact, even from around the world, many people, including Muslims, have been calling for his arrest. Some Muslims have been coming out to make videos to speak against what he's saying. Don't think he's just speaking for himself and the terrorists.
Look, if you tell me your friends, I'll tell you who you are. Why is he hobnobbing with bandits and terrorists? Why? Tell me. Is it a patriotic Nigerian that will support what these guys are doing? Kidnapping. Do you even show what one of the things he said the other time? That it is better to kidnap children than to kill military men. Can you just imagine? This is something that somebody opened his mouth, an adult opened it, that children, it's better you kidnap them. Can you just imagine? In such a person, do you think are you not suggesting that they should go and check him out as Yaba left?
Some would say that is just his own opinion, right? But if that opinion does not sit well with the people in government, why do you think he's not been arrested before now, despite the calls by many Nigerians?
Because all of them are the same people. They are the same people who refuse to do something before Donald Trump came in. Yes. They are in bed with the terrorists. That's why the man in America got frustrated. That's why he got angry. You didn't even hear what he told Nigeria, that Nigeria is a disgraced country.
Is it not ironic that he's saying he's trying to save Nigerian Christians from a Christian genocide being perpetrated by those whom we call Islamic jihadists and being supported by those whom we call, quote and unquote, scum? And yet, he's preventing Nigerians from entering this country.
He selected those who will not enter. He said all of you will not enter. He selected those who will not come in. Why not? He's protecting his country from terrorists and jihadists. What is wrong with that? But you open your border and brought in terrorists here, have you?
I did not open the border.
Oh, is it not you that supporting Nigerian government?
I'm not supporting Nigerian government. I'm asking questions, and I just want you to answer in an unbiased manner. All right. So if you don't like the government, you don't like the person in power, and you always speak against them, don't you think people want to take whatever it is you say with a pinch of salt? They will believe that it's already covered in bias. We asked the president to step aside. Would you ask the president of any other country to step aside? Would you ask the president of Benin Republic to step aside because there was a military coup in the country? Have you asked the military regimes of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger to step aside? Would you have asked our President Muhammad Buhari to step aside? Why would you say Nigerian president step aside for 1 full year? If you're not doing things right, you're not even saying you should put better people. If you work with people that can do things better, you want the president to go and sit down for 1 year.
Please, let me ask you a Chioma. It's like you are the only new man in Rome. Have you not seen presidents all over the world stepping aside and say they cannot do this? Go to UK, our former colonial master. How many times have their prime ministers resigned and stepped aside?
Not former, they are still your colonial master.
From the time Boris Johnson left office, how many prime ministers, the two ladies that came after him, did they not resign and step aside? Please tell me.
Resignation is, you didn't say you should resign.
But
you should step aside and hand over to somebody else.
They left office. They left office, not that they were elected or voted out. They left on their own. Because so it is not all over the world. I don't see what you say. It's not because you people don't want to. You don't want to do the right thing. That's why you believe that somebody leaving office in Nigeria is a strange phenomenon. But all over the world, some cabinets have left office. They resign, all of them, they serve themselves. All over the world, go and check the record. So what is different? If Tinubu said, look, I am tired of this and I'm leaving office. What is wrong with that? No, tell me. What is wrong? Has it not happened anywhere in the world? No, tell me I'm lying now. I don't know what we say. People have left office because they cannot find it. They will now bring another people who can do the job. And it is done all over the world. You cannot just stay there like a dog in a manger. What you cannot just sit down there. You are not moving forward. Pass the class. Poor class. You just sit down in class. Making year at you are there. Are you doing yourself a favor or the country?
We have to go.
It has happened. Mandela was told to go for second time. The man refused. Mandela, after he suffered for 27 years to try to liberate South Africa, he refused. Is that not something?
We have to go back
where they are now. So
we have to go back to that. If you expect the Nigerian president to take,
that is it. People that hate to say the truth, speak the truth, they will always come to support evil, even support things that will destroy them, the things that is against of them, things that they know is against them. They will come out and they support it. It is so sad, but we will continue to stand our ground. We will never give up. We will continue to speak. We will continue to reveal informations as much as we can any day, any time that we have the opportunity. Stay strong wherever you are. Don't get distracted. Don't get deceived.
Walls of history and shouts into the present. That time is not. That voice is the voice of the Igbo people, a people so powerful in spirit, so unbreakable in will, that even the mighty British Empire trembled at the sound of their name. They didn't fear the Igbo because they were violent. No. They feared the power of their mind, the strength of their unity, and the depth of their culture. The British Empire, with all its guns and global power, was shaken by a tribe that refused to bow, refused to break, refused to be erased. You see, the Igbo were never just another group of people to be colonized. They were a force of resistance, a pillar of self-rule, a threat to imperial lies. The Igbo believed in freedom long before the West defined it. They believed in justice before the colonizer could spell it. They governed themselves with systems so sophisticated that even European scholars were stunned. They didn't need kings appointed by foreigners. They chose their own leaders. They didn't need foreign religion to find God. They walked with him in spirit and in truth. That is what frightened the empire. Not their weapons, but their wisdom. Not their violence, but their vision. So the British tried to rewrite their story. They tried to brand them rebels, savages, pagans, because they feared their truth. But you cannot bury a people whose roots go deeper than any empire's foundation. You cannot silence a voice that carries the thunder of ancestors and the fire of future generations. The Igbo stood tall when others knelt. They fought back when others surrendered. They dared to say no to injustice, even when the price was blood. That is why they were sold in chains across the Atlantic, because colonizers feared what would happen if the world saw their strength. That is why the world has been silent about their legacy, because their existence exposes the lies of colonial narratives. But the truth is rising now. The descendants of the Igbo are rising. The world will know that the empire feared the Igbo because the Igbo were never meant to be ruled. They were meant to lead. So if you are of Igbo blood or African descent, or if your spirit yearns for justice, stand tall, walk proud. The legacy they tried to silence is roaring louder than ever. You are not the forgotten. You are the foundation. You are not a shadow of history. You are the light that history tried to hide. And when you walk with that knowledge, with that power in your chest, no empire, past or present, can ever make you feel small again. The British Empire feared the Igbo not for their weapons, but for their wisdom, self-governance, and unbreakable spirit. In a world where empires thrived on control, domination, and submission, the Igbo people represented everything that colonial powers could not predict, could not contain, and could not conquer. They were a people whose strength came not from brute force, but from an inner fire, the kind that refuses to be extinguished. The British were not intimidated by armies or battalions when they encountered the Igbo. They were shaken by a culture that had crafted a society where freedom, equity, and intelligence ruled before the colonizers even arrived. The Igbo did not depend on foreign systems to dictate their way of life.